What's going on, all you wild horror enthusiasts out there? The monsters of the Midway are back tonight. And that's right, we're not talking about the Chicago Bears. No, sir, we are talking about a brand new horror film that just came out this year. It just hit digital last week, I believe. And me and Uncle Logan here are back for the 31 Days of Horror. Yes, all October long, we've been having a blast reviewing a lot of horror movies. And we are back with the one that was directed by Justin Tipping. This is a Jordan Peele produced film from Monkey Paw. That's right. The new horror production company from Jordan Peele, obviously gaining a lot of traction and, working along Justin Tipping here. We have the horror film that's based around this young quarterback. And, he has to find out, is he going to be able to sacrifice enough to make it or not? And this movie is all about him.
Him, him, him.
I'm not just gonna give it to you. You got to take it from me. What if I say no? Think of it as a gift from the gods.
Today we're going to be talking about a wild sports horror movie, Sports Ball, and more. That's right, Jordan Peele produced film. We got Justin Tipping directing this film. We got good old Marlon Wayans. It's been a minute since I've seen him. He plays Isaiah White. Basically, you go to football, the Tom Brady kind of character, really successful football player, older. And then it kind of has to do with this young kid, Cameron, played by Tyreek Withers. And he's an up and coming football player, really good, and stuff happens and they kind of meet in the film.
Yeah, it sets off like a kind of a training camp for young Cam here. He's going to work with the GOAT in the NFL. He's going to bring him to this ultra modern facility out in the middle of the desert, and he's going to get him ready. So when he has, his draft day and, goes in front of all the scouts, he's really going to impress everybody and hopefully go on to be the new GOAT. But the question with this movie really is, what are you willing to sacrifice? How far are you willing to go? And that's where horror is involved in this movie. And you find out that Isaiah has basically made a deal with the devil, and that's how he's become the GOAT. And he's here to take Cam under his wing and train him and just push him to his limits and see if he has what it takes to become the next, go to the NFL, or they don't really call it the NFL in this movie, but it's basically what it's based upon. But right away in this film, what you'll notice is the cinematography. It's the way it's shot has a really cool style to it. It feels very vibrant and very alive. And I was impressed with that right off the bat. I noticed that some really interesting concepts and ideas that it deals with, and it goes to some places where I wasn't expecting. I knew it had to deal with sports and football, but I didn't quite know like how it was going to involve, basically cults and blood sacrifices, and it goes into some pretty wild places.
This is like a horror any given Sunday. That's what it reminded me of. It's a pretty interesting take and premise here. And I think really, like you're saying, the best part of this is the cinematography. It's absolutely beautiful. It's alive, like you said. It brings something different to this movie, which I really appreciated. However, I think some of the script and directing was not as good in this film, where I, caught myself kind of losing interest early on or halfway through the movie. A lot is thrown at you. The horror elements, a lot has to do with religion, cults, sacrifices, things like that. A lot of shots. One in particular, like the Last Supper, which was really cool how they did that. But I can see how this movie can divide people too. But
Yeah.
for me, it was okay.
Yeah, I felt like the overall idea and concept was greater than the film itself. The shots, it looked fantastic. It looked great. I loved, when they were training and he was throwing the football and it would go in and zoom in on the hit and like show the
Right.
X-ray vision and things like that. It looked really awesome. Had some really interesting shots in here. It looked fantastic, but like you said, there wasn't, too much beneath the surface here as far as story wise. Like basically, this movie was exactly what I expected, just judging by what I'd seen from the trailer and going in. This movie was pretty much played exactly what I figured. It didn't surprise me at all. In fact, at the end, I kind of figured it was going to play out like it did. And, they just kind of played it safe within the movie. But, this movie in the hand of, a better filmmaker, maybe somebody with more experience and a more fleshed out script, I felt like they could have done more with this film for sure. Marlon Wayans, he was pretty decent as the quarterback here. He went to some dark places here, a different performance than we've ever seen him. We're used to seeing him in comedic performances, but he takes a more dramatic role here as the mentor. And, he goes to some evil places here too. I liked Cam there, Tyreek Withers. We saw him in the I Know What You Did Last Summer remake. I thought he played this young quarterback. I thought he did a good job here. They just didn't give him really much to chew. He was much like an athlete. There's not much beyond the game here with this character. He doesn't get to, talk about much of his family life or anything. You learn about how his dad was a big part of growing up, and then you find out something bad happened with the family and all that. But he's just, hungry, young, up and coming quarterback here and trying to gain an edge any way he can. Then he comes and trains with this psychopath and finds out that he's basically going to have to make a deal with the devil here to make it through and get past this. I don't know what you'd call it here. This cult training camp.
That's the best way to sum it up, and especially where it's located in the middle of nowhere.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, this is wild and creepy. But yeah, Marlon Wayans, he was really great. Dramatic role, intense, and a few scenes that come to mind. Like, dang, I was not,
Yeah,
expecting a dramatic role like this. Like you were saying, a lot of comedy is hilarious. But yeah, played it straight dramatic, and yeah, did a really good job with this. Tariq Withers, he was pretty good, with what he's given the script. Not much to it outside of, all the things we talked about, sports. There's a lot to say about football, sports in general for athletes,
hmm
professional athletes, destroys you physically, mentally, all that. And they dive into a lot of religious themes in this.
hmm
And not what I was expecting, but this is definitely a film that's style over substance for sure. 100%.
yeah,
Good looking movie, great cinematography, really cool, trippy scenes in this. I like the way it was shot. Just missing a lot of that, that stuff you want to connect with within the script and
yeah.
the writing. So yeah, it was an okay movie. If you're looking for a mediocre, decent movie, check it out during this Halloween season. So that being said, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. Marlon Wayne's hair pieces.
Yeah, the score is definitely boosted up by the great look of it. Just a fantastic looking film. Just needed a better story. There could have been a 4. There could have been a 4 out of 5 here, with a better story, more fleshed out characters here, maybe a better filmmaker here. But a decent movie. Not a total waste of time for sure. Some interesting concepts. A really good performance by Marlon Wayans for sure. Tyreek Withers was good too. Julia Fox is in there too as a crazy girlfriend, So, so with that being said, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 gridiron hair pieces.
So I want to hear from all you wild horror fans out there. What did you like about him? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite Jordan Peele film? Let us know in the
Oh,
comments below. And don't forget to stamp, subscribe. Also, check out these wild uncles on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV movie news and reviews.
ooh, the 31 Days of Horror in full effect. And make sure, if you haven't already, to go check out our fellas giveaways. We're going to be giving away the Nightmare on Elm Street 4K set, 7 films.
Whoa!
Yes, all new, restored in 4K, Dolby audio, the best of the best. The series has never looked as good, and we are giving away all 7 of those films for, the 31 Days of Horror, and of course, at the end of the month, right before Halloween. So make sure to enter in. It's really easy. Thanks everybody for watching our review of him for the 31 Days of Horror. And until the next edition, I'm Uncle Henry.
And I'm Uncle Logan signing out to the next review for 31 Days of Horror. Jesus!
Cheers!